Organized crime is widespread with examples like the Italian mafia and more, but does the UK have any?
Let's start in the 14th century. First is the Cotterell Gang. They were an outlaw group around Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire. They participated in murder, extortion, kidnapping, and protection rackets. The Cotterells are most well known for kidnapping Royal Judge Richard de Willoughby, who was dispatched to sentence the gang for their crime. They managed to do this with the help of the Folville Gang. The Folvilles were a gang located in Leicestershire. They participated in robberies, kidnapping, and murder, though they were often doing this on behalf of others as they acted like mercenaries. Their most well-known crimes are the collaborative kidnapping of Richard de Willoughby and the murder of Baron of the Exchequer, Sir Roger de Bellver. These groups were organized criminal groups, but they were not the type of hierarchical gangs we can compare to the mafia. These started appearing in Great Britain around the middle of the 19th century with the different scuttling gangs in Manchester. The scuttling gangs started appearing with the 1833 Child Labour Act, which made it so that children were not allowed to work in factories. Children not working gave them more free time and they created gangs. These gangs were tame with little violence until the 1870s when they started fighting for territory in the Manchester slums. These clashes consisted of members of the ages 14 to 19 fighting with different weapons with the intent of maiming their opponent. Their influence declined with the creation of working lads clubs, which promoted less violent activities and the growing popularity of street football. The scuttling gangs were hierarchical, but there were no well-known scuttling gangs. The Peaky Blinders, though, were one of the earlier large gangs in Great Britain. They were a street gang in Birmingham who mainly consisted of younger criminals from a lower or middle class background. They participated in murder, robbery, racketeering, and controlled illegal gambling from the 1880s to the 1910s. The members of the gang were well known to wear tailored clothing and flat caps. Until a larger gang took control of Birmingham, the Peaky Blinders were in complete control. Another well-known group was the Richardson Gang. They were also known as the Torture Gang. They were a gang that formed in South London by the brothers Charlie and Eddie Richardson. They participated in many crimes which ranged from illegal gambling to torture. All of this happened during the 50s and 60s. The gang collapsed with a court case with mounting evidence called the Torture Trials, where the brothers both got sentenced with massive sentences and fines. But the case would not have happened if they did not have a large brawl with their rivals. Their rivals, the firm, were another South London-based gang, created by the Cray twins, Ronnie and Reggie Cray. They were well known for gun running, loan sharking and murder, but their criminal activities were not limited to this. Their rivalry with the Richardsons started in the winter of 1965, when both gangs got into a brawl over a verbal disagreement. This escalated into multiple murders in 1966, but the rivalry ended when the Richardson gang's leaders were arrested. The firm was shut down when the twins were arrested, which was connected with the murder of a Richardson gang member. After the firm was disbanded, the London Underground had a power vacuum. There were many gang wars about control. One of the gangs that came out on top was the Arifs. The Arifs is a Turkish gang based in southeast London who rose to prominence in the 1980s. The police believe the gang is run by four brothers. The Arifs are a drug gang, which means they get their revenue from drug trafficking. But they also commit armed robbery, arms trafficking, and murder. They are still active to this day, but they are more hidden than before. There you go, a brief timeline of organized crime in the United Kingdom.